Welcome to our WordPress tutorials on TopsWeb. In this video, we'll be discussing within settings, the reading settings. This is in your admin console. And here in reading settings, this is where we'll set up how the blog post will look. I guess it's the best way I can describe it. From the beginning, we can determine whether the front page is a static page or a blog layout. So in a blog layout, it's going to display your latest post, usually I believe newest, well, by default it's newest to oldest, and you can change that, all those type of things in other settings as well. Or you can choose a static page, supposing that you have a company website and your interest is not to use WordPress for the blog as the home page, but rather as a secondary page on the site. Then you can set a static page that shows more of your general information about your company, and then include a second page, or many pages for that matter, but you can have another page be the blog. So how you do that is you can hit this setting here, a static page, and then you choose which page to be the front page. So if I were to set the sample page, and I set the post page as something else, which you only have one other page other than that, but let's say we go with that and I hit save. So currently home is the where the posts are. Hello world. So now let's refresh the page, and you come to sample page by default, and then you can click home, so sample page became the default. Now we have to set another page to be the blog itself if we were going to do that. And going back to the admin's page, we would create another page under the pages menu, and then select that page to be the blog. The default is just to leave it on your latest post. If you're setting up a blog, this is where you want it. Again, a company site or different variations of more of a static website, you would go with this version here. So blog, the next setting is blog pages show at most. It's by default set at 10. Now I don't usually put that many posts on my blogs on the front page. I usually just go with like 2. It's just it depends on the length of your articles. If you haven't noticed already, I'm a bit long-winded, so my posts are usually minimum 600 words, and it goes on and on and on. So to have 2 can be a very long stretch of a page for me, but that's not for everybody. 10 posts, again, is quite a long, makes for a very long, stretched out page. So your syndication feeds show the most recent. So is your next setting, and you can tell how many the RSS feed will show. Now 10 is a low number for me on that one. I like giving access to my work, and sometimes put that up a bit higher. Typically somebody's RSS reader is going to trim that down anyway, so to whatever their preferences are. So I believe in pumping that number up. It really kind of depends on how often you post, would be my suggestion. If you post a lot, then a higher number, and if you post less, a lower number, simply because your content may become outdated. Your next setting for each article in a feed, show either the full text or the summary. So now the full text will show literally what your site is consist of. So if you're using Google Reader, for instance, it will show you the entire article. Or you can click Summary, which will give a snippet of the article itself. And what you got to remember when you do this is that it strips out a lot of the HTML formatting. So you lose image tags and bold and bullets and that sort of thing. It'll just be straight text. So that can look pretty funky, is the best way I can explain it. So typically I go with the full text on this one. And then there is encoding for pages and feeds. The most common is UTF-8, that's a Unicode. It covers a lot of languages. There are a ton more. And once you're all done, you just hit Save Changes, and that is reading settings. Thank you.